Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Cool Talk Live, brought to you by Brown's Heating and Air, with your host, Brandon Brown.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Cool Talk. It is Wednesday, October 13th. The time in the year, this year is flying by. So hope everybody's ready. Fall, I think, is on the way. It's supposed to be back up in the 90s almost this week. But it's supposed to get cool next week. So I'm hoping we get some fall weather. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
So welcome to Cool Talk. Hope everybody's had a great week. If you missed the local news Monday, we had our Heat and Air giveaway.
The big announcement.
It's
been months in the making.
That night, everything went perfect Monday night. The families arrived about 5:15ish, and we Chick-fil-A served them anything they wanted. Of course, Chick-fil-A paid for that. We're thankful for that on Wards Road. So they brought in their family, immediate families, and kids, and everybody had a great dinner, and we got to present them with each of the three got a gift basket with over, I think they averaged it over $1,500 per basket for donations.
That's awesome.
Gift cards to Target, Walgreens, like CVS, Walmart, food places, gas cards. There was a donation, which is a really nice one. I didn't even think about it, but we had a lady donate a family photo session.
Aw.
And included a picture print with it, which is awesome because, people in need, you sometimes you go years and years and you don't get to do your family photos like most people. So that was great. They can go out and get a picture, and each of the three families take a session and get some free pictures to hang on the wall. So that was awesome. Everything went good. We had the news there at WSET. So if you if you're not local, it was on the news. But and you can also go back to our Brown's Heating and Air Facebook page, and all the recordings and the news articles are there. The winner for our first giveaway was Buddy and Tammy Davidson here in Lynchburg. So they their house is actually set up. It had a furnace. They have it's an old house off Campbell Avenue area. So they have like a half crawl space. And the reason their system went bad is every time it rains real bad, that crawl floods. So everything in there in the basement had rusted out. The furnace had went bad. So they can't get the drainage issue fixed. So we're going to go back with some ductless mini splits in the house. So so nothing's in the weather. And it's perfect timing. Everything worked out right because he said the heat went out last year. And they were wondering what they were going to do this year for heat. They had a window unit for air, but we'll give them air. But they were worried about the heat. So and they didn't have anything. They were going to go out and buy some electric heaters or something. But darn, then your electric bill's through the roof.
Oh my gosh!
So that was awesome. Awesome night for Buddy and Tammy. Tammy actually couldn't make it. She was homesick. He said she had some things going on. They're hoping. And tested the doctor that she's been battling some different types of cancers for years. So hope that's not back and going on. But we missed her. But Buddy came with his daughter and a grandkid. And he was definitely watched the video when we announced it because he was so sweet. And it just floored him. He was shocked. He said he's never won anything in his life. And just to have that experience, we were just so blessed. We're blessed to have Chick-fil-A on board, Watts Creative Studios. I mean, the whole thing, start to finish, for our first one, I think went good, Woody.
Oh, it went great. I mean, the voting turnout, every time I checked the website, I mean, there was never a time it sat still. There was always, people voting, the traffic to the website. And I think you had three good candidates by how close the voting was.
Yes.
So that was so encouraging. Every time we saw, we were like, oh man, this is neck and neck.
It was back and forth, and and it was only 18 votes between Tammy and second.
Gosh. It was
the
close.
Next 2 or 3. It was ooh.
And we had a cutoff time, and I thought, I was like, I'm gonna have to, because like if the winner, it's like okay. Then I don't have to be as strict. But like I really had to keep an eye on it because like it was going to be
down to the last second,
and that makes your heart feel good because it's like, well, each three deserve it, and I think the public, when they vote, saw that.
Yes.
And then so they were torn because I know
Yes.
there were some messages sent through the website like, oh, I'm having a hard time. I wish all three could win. And
Yeah.
I know people were torn.
Well, I was torn too,
Yeah.
especially when we got to 3. I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't have to pick the winner. I'm glad. But thank you to you, anybody that's listening. If you voted, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We had over 1,300 votes.
Yep.
In like a week and a half. So that was huge. We appreciate every single vote, and your vote did count because it was tight. Every day Woody would send updates, and for the first few days we didn't know who was winning what, but he would send me the totals like, man, one would be 5 votes up, then a vote up, then a vote down, and so it was good. Yeah,
it was back and forth,
and all 3 did deserve it. And at the end, we talked to every family about helping them with their heat and air system, what we can do. So we're still going to reach out and see what we can do to help them get up and running. They were really grateful for the baskets, of course. I mean, that was huge. Chick-fil-A put it in. It was they put in some blankets and some thermos jugs and some free coupons to Chick-fil-A, and Texas Roadhouse threw in a nice bucket and different things. So I mean, it was a really, really nice basket.
That's awesome. That's so good.
That was crazy. Especially the first year. I'm like, like they asked, we interviewed at the beginning. I did an interview with Heart of Virginia that's playing next week. And she said, well, what did you expect when you thought about that? And I said, literally, I was telling Woody, if we get 50 nominations, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
50 to go through with. We had 330.
330, and every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's like you read them, and I'm like you. Like I'm reading them, and I'm like, I can't read anymore.
It was
this
tough.
is like because I'm gonna want to give every single person something.
Yeah. It got to the point to where we had to start, and they had to eliminate when they were going through them people if it just wasn't enough info. Because some people would only put a sentence, but didn't really elaborate the need, and it had so many with such long descriptive stories.
Yeah,
that was like the only reason to and they may need it even as much as the winner, but we just didn't know. We couldn't. We were on a time crunch, so we learned a lot this year. So next year when we do giveaway number 2, it'll kind of you learn every year.
But I got to be honest with you, at least on my side, I mean, it went great. Like I mean, I mean, really, like the fact that you put it out there and the community responded, and they responded with a good amount of nominations, and then a ton of people voting, and then a close voting system, so from the other side of it, it's like it's so nice to see the community kind of step up and notice this, and then so I think you better be prepared for next year.
Yeah, that's true, because we outdid ourselves this year for the first year than we expected, and like we said, we had around 1,600 votes, but it was 1,600 different people. It wasn't one person voting 100 times for this person.
So unique votes, and you couldn't vote more than once, and the system automatically, cycled through that. So if somebody was sitting there clicking, it got you one time, and then that was it. But it didn't. It told us that, but it didn't tell everybody that. So of that number, that is the actual number of legitimate votes. And again, it was back and forth. Like, I know Friday when I sent you that screenshot, I kept checking it through the day. We were on the road, but I kept checking. I was like, all right, who's going to, and then there was one time only 8 votes separated. Woo. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go down to the second and then take a screenshot. Yeah. But, then you kind of saw one kind of, all of them received votes every day.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just finally saw, the Buddy and Tammy, they just kind of pulled away there at the end, and that was it.
That was it. So we thank you all who voted, nominated. Be prepared next year, mid to late summer. We'll be advertising again, getting ready to nominate again. So if you nominated this year and you didn't make the top 3, you can renominate, and then you'll know. It'll be a better. We'll have better questions on there. Yep. And we'll be a little bit, some changes on there. So you make sure you give detailed, if you nominate somebody, give detailed information, your number for us to contact. I mean, I know we don't want to get too personal on things, but just as detailed as you can helps, because when you're going through 300 plus spreadsheets, that did make a big difference. And I definitely want to give a special thanks to my wife Dara, my office manager Brittany, Carrie, and Afton from Chick-fil-A. They literally, from the start of this to the end of it, it was probably not a day go by that we didn't have emails about something, and they were on it. I mean, anything we had to do, as soon as someone said, "Hey, I think we need to do this," it was on it. They were calling somebody, or they were, and I know my wife was on there even late at night sometimes, emailing and making sure things were right with WSET and the commercials and y'all, and they just, and it was all volunteer time. They were donating their time and stuff to make this happen. Out of the the goodness of their heart, and I really thank them. I really thank Chick-fil-A. Woody, thank you for all you did, videoing, come up with the commercial, and helping do the website and all. It definitely went amazing, and next year's going to be even bigger.
Well, hey, thank God for that crew that you just mentioned.
Yes,
to wrangle in all these.
They set.
Really,
we gave them 330 pieces of paper of different stories, and they sat together for 3 days straight, just reading through them and narrowing it down, and that was a hard job.
And corralling Brandon Brown and Woody Watts.
Yes.
Keeping them online. I know for me, it's like they were so organized. I was like, oh man, I got to get this done. Oh man, I got to get this done.
It was done.
I am like, so well
they
done.
were on top of it.
Great system this year. Y'all did a great job. Honestly, y'all did a great job.
Yeah. So next year it's going to be even better.
Yep.
Every year we'll go better. So. Yep, that was great. Congrats, Buddy and Tammy, and we will be installing that soon. We're going to get some video of that, start to finish, have a thank you video and commercial for everybody. And,
I'm excited to see the ductless system.
Yeah,
because
yours are on the way. I checked on the stash. Should be. It's just how shipping is these days.
With the shipping containers are backed up.
Your units are probably between here and Hawaii on an ocean.
On an ocean liner.
Yeah, waiting to be.
Anybody got a boat we can borrow? We'll just go out and get them.
I know. Just tell me what boat number I need to look for. I just need the 3 mini split units for Woody Watts, please. We'll give you $100 tip. Just go through all the containers and find them.
Have you seen the drone footage?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy. Like that's insane. That's an
and we're running out of gas again. Prices are going through the roof.
And toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
We didn't say that.
Oh gosh.
Wait, we need to go stock
up. Sandpaper.
Yeah, sandpaper.
Sandpaper.
Off shelf.
Go buy sandpaper. So how was your getaway this weekend?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was wonderful. You know how you like.
I'm glad the weather held up.
Oh my God! I'm telling you, like it was one of those getaways where it wasn't a planned vacation because we went down there to vend. We went down to sell at Mumfest, which is a festival in New Bern, North Carolina, every October, and it's just a beautiful festival. They shut off like 3 or 4 streets in New Bern, North Carolina, and it's just a cute downtown by the water. It's just awesome. And we vended there a couple years ago before COVID, and Laura did really well, and we like staying because we got married there and we used to live there for a while. So then we went back, and this year drove down, vended Saturday, and they'd been.
So the festival was Saturday and Sunday only.
Saturday and Sunday, but they had been calling for rain all weekend.
Yes.
So we set up, and the rain held off Saturday until about 3:00, and around 2:30. Laura sold out of candles.
Wow.
So mind you, there's still a whole second day of the festival left. And we're sitting there, it's such a blessing to sell out, and that we beat the rain. It was beautiful before that. So at 3:00 it just started pouring down rain. So we thought, you know what, let's just pack up. We don't have anything to sell anyway.
Wow.
So we pack up the Easy Up and everything and then go draw off in the hotel. And then you know what, Sunday? We spent it down at the beach, just sitting watching the water, and because it was like that cool fall weather before a storm.
I love the beach at the fall.
Oh my gosh! And then we went to just drove the strip because I did get a new to me vehicle that we got to drive around the beach a little bit, so that was fun. Jeep. And it was
Jeep
just
Club.
Oh my! The Jeep Wave is a thing.
Yeah.
Every Jeep that passed me, I felt.
I've heard of that.
I was giggling the whole trip. It was just a wonderful trip, man. It was great. It was like one of those that we did not think it would be like a mini vacation. We thought it was going to be a working trip. And it just ended up being a super relaxing time that was fun. And
that's great. They sold out that quick. That's
sold
awesome.
out.
You made didn't you you took extra, didn't you? Like,
dude,
thinking
we took 8 or 9 totes. We didn't have any room in the car.
Wow.
She took 8 totes, and she'd been working, she hand makes all this stuff. So it's not like so everything is custom handmade. So like it takes her, months to build this stock.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, people came in and just responded really well to it. So
that's awesome.
She's talented.
I've bought the stuff. It's great.
Yeah,
my wife loves it. It's not all smells good.
Yeah.
That's a special talent. I don't know how in the world she does that.
Yeah, she's great.
It's
a
lot of work.
Awesome.
You got to have patience.
Yep. But people responded well, and our location was fantastic too. By the way, I mean we were right there in like the crossroads section downtown, so you got plenty to look at, plenty of booths, and everybody was so nice. And then we were right behind us is this beautiful historic church.
Yeah,
and they had set out this pumpkin garden or whatever out. So it's just one of those dreamy weekends where the weather was perfect, our view was amazing, and we got to go to the beach and relax.
Yeah.
And so
that's great.
Yeah.
That was a good weekend, and you got to sell out. Yeah, sold out, and so you did work and relax.
That's it. And then I felt good because I'd sent you this was the weekend you were giving away the HVAC,
Yeah.
So it was kind of like on Friday, I sent you the final number, and it was like, man, it's a good weekend. It's like the end of something.
The whole thing. Something nice happened. Something good for people. It was just felt great to be a part of.
Oh, it was awesome. Y'all did a great job.
And it makes you definitely take in perspective what you have.
Oh, when you see situations like that, like you did when I watched y'all's live Facebook, and you see a situation of someone in need with something that is so important.
We take for granted. I'm like, man, I'm hot in here. I need another degree. Well, they ain't got nothing.
Oh my gosh! And then you hear their story, and it's like I'd stop the complaining. I shut up.
It's definitely we're definitely blessed, and it's I was raised. Once you raised to give, always give. And help people when you can, and it's. I'm just glad and honored we get to do something like that.
Yes.
To build something that we've got going. We're blessed with the business we got during COVID lockdown. We were able to stay open. I mean, a lot of businesses had to shut down, but with us 16 plus employees, when COVID shut down, people didn't want you to come into houses. We still stayed busy and steady enough to keep working, and people spending their hard-earned money to fix their units or to replace them still, even if they were out of work. So you just be able to give back and to bless people that, in the community that need it. And they're going through hard stuff because they're at the hospital. Buddy and Tammy's at the doctor's probably every couple of days.
Yeah.
He's got some brain tumors and different things, and she's got some certain type of cancer. It's definitely a blessing to give back. All 3 of them deserved it, but they were all 3 appreciative of the baskets and everything that happened. So,
and I have a feeling that we're gonna have a cold winter.
Yeah.
This summer was really hot.
It's building up for that.
Yeah, and the summer doesn't want to go away.
Mm-mm.
And usually if it's fighting to keep on, then what's going to happen is wintertime you're going to get the same thing. It's going to be super cold, and then it's going to stay colder longer. So
we'll probably get more snow this year.
Man, I wouldn't mind it. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's the way it feels.
I know DW Public Works here in Bedford. Poor guy. Every chance of snow, they work around the clock.
Yeah.
So I know
we get one flake.
He absolutely hates snow, but I'll tell you what, I love it. So it's like
I loved it till I really, really loved it till I owned a business. And then when Then when it started snowing and you had to either close or reschedule, I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't as fun as it was when I was a kid.
My bottom line.
So I do like a good snow. I don't want a ton of snow. I would like a good one, a snow a time or two, but
a pretty snow.
Not an Alaskan type winter.
Oh gosh,
people just don't drive. I mean, I'd come into work, but people like you have a flurry, and they're like, "Man, I can't get up my driveway for 3 days." Like 3 days, dude, it's gonna melt by lunchtime.
I mean, you remember back? This was not that long ago. What was it, 5 or 6 years ago? I mean, we were having snows that were over your knees.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then we just haven't had one.
We hadn't had one in several years. I think we needed to kill a lot of germs. We definitely need a good one.
Yeah.
Get some germs and stuff.
Well, it'll shut down everything for about 2 weeks. I mean, I mean, you remember that, right?
Oh,
like, I mean, back in, I mean,
I remember missing when I was in high school one year. It was like 2 straight weeks.
Exactly. Yep.
And it was legit snow.
And then you go 2 hours late for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
It's wonderful. It's like school was great.
And school was, then summer hit, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna go longer now."
Poor kids now. They would just do virtual.
Yeah, virtual and Saturdays and
woo, man. We had it good then. I that's one thing I do not like. I'm good with. Like, we missed, and there was no technology back then.
Yeah.
And like, you remember back in the day, some of the schools didn't have AC.
Right.
So if it got too hot,
you were going home.
And I remember sometime there was like a week or two in the summertime. Yep. We got to go home. It was too hot, man. Those are the days.
No virtual, now? Nope. Sorry.
Kids.
We'll Zoom you at 8.
Yep.
My brother lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They get snow all the time. They don't ever miss. I mean, their buses flying down the road with snow on the road, slamming on the brakes. Like, I'm like, good gosh, man. Nope. They don't bother them.
That's like New York. It could literally be 10 feet of snow.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry.
Everybody's
going.
Only during a blizzard warning or something,
right.
They'll go stay home a day.
Man.
But the end of the year is coming. So if you're listening and you're a small business in the area or anywhere, when COVID hit a couple years ago, the first thing the businesses kind of cut out was marketing, advertising stuff. You know, that budget was gone, but now things are starting to pick back up. And I know we're sitting here with Woody today. He does podcasts, but he does a little more than that. How important is marketing, Woody? Like commercials or Facebook or different ads, trying to get that back out, you know, get your budget that stuff is more important now than ever.
Oh, you've got to. It's you know, with it, the landscape has changed over the last 2 years, and over the last year specifically. And that if you aren't present or you don't have a platform, your message is going to get lost. And that's why it's like, I know that, you know, you're listening to Cool Talk right now, which is a Brown's Heating and Air podcast. But this is one of those platforms that has been created for Browns, so that he can have a direct relationship with his customers and get out that valuable information. Because anywhere you tune in right now, I mean, you were being bombarded with stuff. Like, you're being bombarded with news,
right,
mandates, this and that, and then just you just filter everything out. And then so you, as a small business, guess what happens to your message?
Right,
it just gets pushed to the side.
Right.
So that's why it is so important right now. If you have not developed your own following platform or even an email list, even something as simple as like just a contact where you can tell your customers or your people that are, you know, you can like this Browns giveaway, that is a testament to how active you all are in these avenues, that you had this big of a turnout and that you were able to get it to the area like you did. So It is so important right now.
It is. And that was the first thing that we would have people call and different marketing things, like, you know, the first thing businesses cut was marketing, advertising when everything was locked down. But that was actually the most important time to advertise, because people were at home watching TV, watching, you know, catching up on ads and working from home. And to keep your business open, that was one of the times you needed to actually, if you had the money, to put into advertising.
I can tell you, I do quite a bit of commercials. Now, it's not bragging. It'll be important later. I do quite a lot of commercials for the same type of businesses in the area and in the surrounding areas. And the ones that continue to advertise and to continue to put their message out on social media and TV, they have grown because of it. Others that throttle back for one reason or the other are struggling now to get their message back out there.
Yeah.
Because again, the landscape has changed, and you know how quick people's attention spans change.
Right.
So, you know, I've got you front of mind. Your heating and air may not need changing right now. It may be working perfectly. Right. But Brandon is constantly putting his message out there so that when it does happen, guess who's going to happen? Right. And if Brandon disappears for 6 months,
whoever else is in there, because, well, I forgot who it was 6 months ago, but now this new commercial's on, let's call them.
That's right.
You've got to stay in front of the customer. You've got to stay active. If you don't have you don't have means of doing, digital, come up with some kind of an email program.
Yes, get a mailing
mail
list.
mail out newsletters.
Start
specials.
a Facebook page. Yeah. I mean, there are some free. If you don't have any money for marketing, right? There are so many free avenues out there now, and especially I know social media is like a double-edged sword. But there are ways that you can go on there and not lose your soul.
Right.
Just and start a company Facebook page and start an Instagram page so that it's, I brought up this example, I think it was last week, with like a place like Whiny Chicks, a boutique, a place like that where she now I've seen her grow over the last few years, her social media following, and that's her advertising now. Like she has her own platform. And same with you, Brandon. Like, I mean, I know you're doing you do a podcast, you have an active Facebook page, you have an active Instagram page. You're constantly updating your customers and letting them know so that they are engaged and your message is out there. You're not just coming up every 6 months, with a string of commercials. Like, you're constantly out there. So it's important. It's a reason why you see these businesses do it like this. Like there's a method behind it.
Yeah, it's important. It's not a way. It's not a lot of people. Some people will say, "Well, it's a waste of money." It ain't a waste of money.
No,
it is not a waste. You need to you've got to create your own image and your own business, because there's so many out there doing what you're doing. Even if you're listening, you own a business. Most of the time, there's several others doing it.
Yeah.
And the ones that get out there in front of the people the most, whether it's advertising, workshops, or vendor fairs, or different things, are the ones that, once you start meeting them people and they're putting the face, their face on the business, they're going to start remembering you. They're going to remember. And then we get calls all the time, and I even see people now out in public all the time. Hey, I've seen your commercial. We don't need air conditioning now, but we know to call you when we do.
And that's
they do.
That's exactly what you want.
Yes,
that is exactly, because that is. A lot of the business out there are there that, of course, there are emergency businesses that, have calls right then, but very few.
Yeah.
Like if you see a lawyer commercial, chances are you don't need a lawyer right when you're eating dinner that day, or a car commercial. Like, I don't need that new car yet, but you know what? 3 months from now, when a bear runs out in front of you, you total your car. Guess what you're looking for? You're looking for another car.
Yeah, accidents happen.
And just like Brandon, I mean, that's why we, especially with the podcast and social media, you have a direct line with your customers now, and then also in marketing. Listen, I know social media again can be just like a cliff you can dive off of, but like. Nowadays, people want to know the personalities behind the business, and they want to know that their money is trusted, and that their business is valued, and they're not a number. People are shopping local more now than ever.
Yeah.
So you've got to have that relationship with your customers, and that's why like that direct line is so important.
Yes, gotta have that shop local, and that's what we like to advertise and push, to shop local. And if you're in Central Virginia or a little further, I don't know how far Woody goes. If you're looking to do commercials and advertising, hit them up at Watts Creative Studios.
Yeah, thank you.
All our TV commercials you see on there, Woody helps us put on and get to the right hands for whether it's WSET or wherever you want to put it. You may have co-op available that we can put a logo. He can put a logo on and a tagline and get some of it paid for. I mean, that's
a lot of the ones we do.
Yeah.
It's half of it's already paid for.
You
just have to say go.
You may not even know. So if you sell a product, ask all your salesmen, do y'all have co-op available? There are a lot of places that have it that don't tell you about it. And if they, I don't know why they wouldn't, but
and I'm gonna be honest with some that we do. The co-op is as much as 75 to 100%.
Yeah,
you just have to say spend the money.
Yeah,
and then we go and we send it for co-op, and it's some of it's all.
And they're approving and helping your account.
Yep.
Pay back and pay for that co-op. Right. So check in your co-op. Check in at Watts Creative Studio for any commercials, and stay tuned at noon for Talk Local to Me and Heather Alto. Have a great week.